Long Beach, one of the most scenic cities in Southern California, and today the host of one of the top talent showcases for high school basketball in the country. It's the 7th annual Ballislife All-American Game presented by Eastbay. And hello everybody, welcome inside the Hall of Champions at Long Beach City College. Rob Brenner alongside Ronnie Flores. Paul Westphal will join us in just a few moments. It is rare to find the kind of talent on the floor at the same time together like we are going to see today here in Long Beach. We have several Mr. Basketballs. We have players of the year from their respective leagues and conferences from all over the country. And most importantly, we have some of the top players who are going to influence Division I colleges around the country as soon as this upcoming season. Ronnie, we're in for quite a show.
Definitely, Rob. We are in for quite a show. The 7th annual game could be the best collection of talent in the 7 years. We have some of the top players in the country, 3 of the top uncommitted players. Bamba, the big man from Pennsylvania. We got Trevon Duval, arguably the nation's top point guard out of IMG Academy. And we have Bowen from La Lumiere in Indiana. Players from all over the country. We should be in for quite a show, Rob.
Whenever you have an all-star type event, which is exactly what this is, you expect highlight reel plays, and I'm sure we'll have many of those. At the same time, we're expecting a competitive game on the floor.
Definitely, Rob. We do want a competitive game, and the kid who could jumpstart that is Collin Sexton out of Georgia. Tough as nails point guard. Look for him in a matchup with Jaelyn Hands going to UCLA. They kind of went at it in practice, and hopefully that carries over to the game.
All right, let's throw it over to the third member of our broadcast team, Paul Westphal.
Lonzo Ball and TJ Leaf are among last year's players who have already put their name in the early entry list for this year's NBA draft. While I'm sure many of the players that are out there tonight think they are in that same one-and-done category, the reality is in the 10-year history of the rule, only about 10 to 12 players are selected from that category each year in the NBA draft. So whether they stay in college 1 year or 3 or 4, the ultimate goal is still for all of these young men to get into the NBA. Now, next time that they play in front of a loud crowd, it'll be serious business at the college ranks. But tonight, in front of what should be a packed house, this game should be loose and free for the last time. So if you're a fan of jaw-dropping handles, gravity-defying dunks, and laser-precise passes, sit back and enjoy the show. This should be a lot of fun. And in addition, with any luck, I should have a couple of interesting interviews with some of the stars of tomorrow. And you know, we might not always talk basketball. Rob and Ronnie, back to you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Ronnie, let's take a look at the rosters for today's game. First for Team Elite.
Team Elite, the away team in the black. We got Isaiah Jellyfam Washington. He's big with the finger rolls, headed to Minnesota. We got Quade Green, University of Kentucky bound point guard. Collin Sexton, the young bull who's very competitive. We got California's Mr. Basketball, Ethan Thompson, headed to Oregon State. KZ OKpala, Stanford bound, local kid out of Esperanza, led him to the D2 title. The country should get a good look at him. He's a little bit under the radar. Bamba, the undecided big man, shot blocker supreme. Charles O'Bannon, his father went to UCLA and so did his uncle, and they won a national title, and he's headed to USC. Headed back to UCLA, we got Jalen Hill, big man local from Corona Centennial. We got the hardworking Ira Lee headed to Arizona. If anybody can jumpstart its team up front, it's Ira Lee. P.J. Washington, multi-dimensional forward, headed to Kentucky, Big Blue Nation. He's out of Findlay Prep in Nevada. And also going from Indiana to UCLA, we got Kris Wilkes. He's joining a great recruiting class. Steve Alford, obviously, an Indiana native.
And how about for Team Future?
Team Future, the home team in the white. Chris Lykes, well-known player, 4th-year veteran, headed to the University of Miami. We have Eli Scott. Eli is a complete steal for Loyola Marymount. Undersized brute. He rebounds, he dunks, he does it all for Chino Hills. Trevon Duval, the undecided point guard from Wilmington, Delaware, out of IMG Academy. The scoring sensation, Jello Ball. He had a 72-point game this year. If he heats up, this could change the whole dynamics of today's game. Helped Chino Hills win a national title last year. Last but not least, we got Brandon Randolph on this group. He's actually teammates with Bamba, but he's on the opposite team, and he's headed to Arizona. Jaelyn Hands, point guard out of Foothills Christian in San Diego. Team Future, Trae Young, some scoring sensation from Oklahoma, averaged over 43 points per game. Bowen, the undecided forward from La Lumiere. He's going to make a college program very happy. Savion Flagg, the high riser and flyer who can dunk from the free throw line. He's headed to Texas A&M. And last but not least, we got Brandon McCoy, the big man who will be very key for Team Future. He's headed to UNLV, and he's one of their few post players, so he's going to have a big game today, Rob.
We are in for a tremendous show here in Long Beach, California. It's the 7th annual Ballislife All-American Game presented by Eastbay. The opening tip is coming up right after this. Back inside the Hall of Champions at Long Beach City College. It is time, or at least just about, for Team Elite and Team Future to take the floor for the 7th annual Ballislife All-American Game. Time to break down the rules. And there aren't too many because, of course, it is an all-star caliber event. 20-minute halves. It's essentially college rules. There's no fouling out today, fortunately. Not that we expect a lot of fouls in this game. 1-and-1 after 10 team fouls. That's a little bit of a variation from the college game. And automatic 1-and-1 in the final minute. Now we'll take a look at our coaches for today. There are coaches, which actually, sometimes it's a little surprising. An all-star game, do they really need it? Yes, they do. They need direction. And Dinos Trigonis will do a great job of giving direction today to Team Elite. That's our designated visiting team. They'll be wearing the black in today's game. And on the other side of the court, Atop Udoima, coaching the Compton Magic. There's Atop. He'll be with Team Future today. They'll be wearing the white jerseys. Ronnie, I know it's a little bit of a change from what you guys have had in the past in regard to coaches.
Yes.
And talk about that a little bit.
Well, we have 2 grassroots coaches that come from the travel ball segment of ball, and what that means is they know these kids a little more than a high school coach who would only have coached maybe one of these guys. Dinos and Atop have coached multiple players on both teams in the summer, and they've coached over 20 professional NBA players, so they have experience dealing with this type of talent level. And obviously you got to get substitutions in there, and you got to make all the players happy. So they're used to this elite level talent, and it seems to go good flow, and they know each other, and they have their own little rivalry. Atop started the Compton Magic 1 year after Dino started the Belmont Shore program, and iron sharpens iron. They've kind of built a great friendship and built a great rivalry where it's a friendly one, and hopefully it carries over to today's game.
We brought this up during our initial open today that we expect a lot of highlights. We're going to see a ton of dunks. We're going to see a lot of threes. We're going to see fast-paced action. And at the same time, I think you and I both expect a much more competitive game than maybe we saw last year.
Definitely. We definitely want to see a more competitive game, and we believe we will. There's a plethora of good guards. Collin Sexton's one that stands out right away. You expect to see him. And Jaelyn Hands, you just saw him on the dunk contest. He's warm and ready to go. Other players to watch for are Ethan Thompson and P.J. Washington and Team Elite on Dinos' team. Ryan Bowen, the undecided player, and Brandon McCoy should have a big game on Team Future side. Trevon Duval battling Quade Green. They want Trevon Duval to go to Kentucky, so Quade Green probably has a little bit of thing going with him, trying to get him to go to join Big Blue Nation. So there's a lot of storylines there.
Absolutely, no question about that. So any surprises, I have to ask you, from the three-pointer dunk contest? I think it was about as exciting as I was hoping for. We saw a lot of fantastic dunks, a couple of misses here and there, but when guys got it going, they were pretty impressive. And the three-point shooting, a great performance by Isaiah Washington.
Yes, Isaiah Washington, Jolly family. He loves the finger roll. He loves the dipsy-do, New York type of guard, but he showed he can shoot a little bit. He ended up winning the championship over Charles O'Bannon. Charles O'Bannon is more of a streaky shooter. He shot well in the first segment, then he kind of tailed off in the second round in the championship round. And as far as the dunkers, as you're going to see in today's game, Jaelyn Hands is slight of frame, but he's so explosive and so good around the basket. He could really put on a show, and he might posterize somebody.
Yeah, there's a couple of folks that I've been looking forward to seeing, really all of them, to be honest, but Bamba, and I know you also mentioned that during your open, the 7-footer out of Harlem, doesn't know where he's going to school yet, but apparently down to the University of Texas and to Kentucky, and I expect to see a true center, a guy 7 foot tall who can do different things. And Ronnie, when it comes to his game, the chances that he actually gets to post up today, that's what I'm curious about. They're going to get him the ball on the block.
Well, Bamba will create his own offense. He'll block a shot and run the court. Well, hopefully he gets a post-entry pass. Hopefully we want to see a couple post-entry passes. How many we get, we're not sure. But he should be able to get the ball, and if he can get the ball, he'll make something happen. He's a good passer, and he's just a athletic and freak out there.
And he's playing for Team Elite today, the designated road team, and again for Team Future. There's a lot of players up and down the roster that are going to be exciting. For me, Kris Lykes out of Washington, D.C., 5'7" kid, and I was watching some of the highlight reels that the kids put together and you guys have posted online. This kid can get up.
Oh, definitely. Kris is a well-established player. He may be small in stature, but he's one of the most highly honored players on this game. He's a All-Met Player of the Year in D.C., averaged 18 points for one of the best programs in the country, Gonzaga of Washington, D.C. Kris Lykes, two-time WCAC Player of the Year, Gonzaga's all-time leading scorer, 2,266 points. Miami got a gem.
Yeah, how did Miami? You know, and hey, Jim Larrañaga runs a great program at Miami, but you don't see that very often, a kid from D.C. going down to Miami. This caliber kid anyway.
Well, Kris wants to study engineering. I believe they have a strong engineering program down there, and hopefully he can engineer a win for his team, Team Future, today.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a look at Team Future. Those are the white jerseys, and yes, they do have the black and blue stripes, and then the black numbering trimmed in white. And teams are getting ready as they gather around their coaches, getting the starting lineups. Just to give you those starting lineups for Team Future, we will see Trevon Duval, Jaelyn Hands, Trae Young, Brian Bowen, and Brandon McCoy. Those will be their 5 starters, and there will be substitutions on a pretty regular basis throughout today's game. For Team Elite, as you look at the Ball family, Lonzo and Melo, Dad over there on the right-hand side with his big baller brand shirts. For Team Elite today, Quade Green, Collin Sexton, Ethan Thompson, Bamba, and P.J. Washington will be your 5 starters. And a very athletic group, a little bit of a bigger team, it looks like, for Team Elite, so we'll see how they utilize their size. As you see, Shaquille O'Neal's son, right?
Yes, there's Sharif O'Neal. There was De'Aaron Fox, the Swiper Fox we call him, going to the NBA after 1 year of Kentucky. And we got Big Bo, the 7-footer, the son of the late Manute Bol. He's going to be a senior at Mater Dei here in Southern California. They're here to check out the Ballislife game.
By the way, I was watching Bol shoot around before this one started. That kid can step outside to 7-foot+ and shoot the basketball.
I think he gets that from his dad. His dad loved to launch those threes, and Bol, he's a very good perimeter shooter on the Cal Supreme EYBL team. He's showing so far this spring that he can shoot. He's a player to watch for next year in this game, hopefully.
I was just going to say, maybe wind up on this very same floor as of next year. There's the road jerseys, the Team Elite jerseys. By the way, the jerseys this year, fantastic. I love this look. Tremendous with the blue. As we're just about set for basketball. The 7th annual Ballislife All-American game presented by Eastbay. Big crowd on hand here at Long Beach City College to take it in. Brandon McCoy going to jump things up for Team Future in the white out of San Diego, California. Bamba is going to jump things up for Team Elite out of Harlem, New York, and Westtown School. 2 big guys who might run into each other at the collegiate level. And away we go as the opening tip is won by Team Elite. Right away, going up for the 2-hand slam is Collin Sexton.
Collin with a nice feed from P.J. Washington there. We hope that unselfishness keeps up.
We should really write down, the 2 of us, how many dunks we're going to see in today's game. Just take a guess as a 3 is on the way and no good. Out of the right-handed Trae Young, and running this direction is Team Elite. Guess right now. 40 or 50 dunks we see in this game. That's just a guess. As a bullet pass goes out of bounds. Quade Green looking for P.J. Washington, the Las Vegas native P.J. As you see, Quade Green going to Kentucky from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Jaelyn Hands trying to throw backdoor. Players are obviously going to try to show off their passing skills. Here's Hands. Face up 3 is good.
Jaelyn Hands with the stop and pop, shed up shot. He's a great shooter from the set position.
Yeah, we saw his dunking skills. Obviously, he could shoot the basketball as well. No question about that. Nice strong take by Ethan Thompson out of Torrance, California, right down the road from here. Went to Bishop Montgomery, committed to Oregon State.
And where he's improved this year, he's stronger around the basket, as you've seen that. He's a little stronger than his brother, Steve, at the same age.
And he also went to Oregon State.
And he's still there, and they're going to join him next year.
That should be fantastic. And Dad is there as well, correct?
That is correct. Dad is here today in the stands watching his son play.
There's a nice backdoor pass and an easy lay-in for Ethan Thompson yet again. So he's got 4, the 6'5" guard. Quickly the other way, McCoy with a nice catch. He's got Bull around him, missed on his shot, and a foul is called. Bamba went up and tried to get that block. And we'll have a 1-and-1 here for Brandon McCoy. Correction, 2-shot foul. I was reading the 1-and-1s earlier on the going over the foul limit.
We got a shooting foul here. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So Brandon McCoy knocks it down. He's 6'11" and averaged 28.6 points per game last year in high school, 12.6 rebounds, 5.3 blocks, a guy that can really do it all.
And like Brandon and Mom like to say, he's originally from Chicago. Played in Cathedral Catholic, but he's from Chicago.
There's a 2-hand throwdown from Ethan Thompson, so he's on a roll. And smart, get underneath the basket. Wait for those great passes because you know they're going to come to you with all the outstanding guards in this game.
Ethan's a real smart player. He knows how to find his openings, doesn't force things. California Mr. Basketball led Bishop Montgomery to the CIF Open Championship. Fantastic season for Ethan.
Jaelyn Hands being guarded by Thompson. They'll see each other 12 next year as that 3 misses. And Bamba with the rebound. UCLA and Oregon State. It's been a battle that's won recently by UCLA on a pretty regular basis as that 3 is off to the left. Nice rebound, long outlet to McCoy. He's able to track it down, showing that he can run the floor, is McCoy.
And you might see McCoy shoot a 3-pointer today. He does like to get out there from the outside. Here's Trae Young.
And he's going to UNLV, by the way. Speaking of McCoy, here's another long outlet. Sexton putting on a show.
Sexton passes to himself out the bounce. Collin Sexton's had such a great year, and he's an ultra-competitive player. Look for him to try to D up Duval right here on this up-court move.
Collin Sexton on that last dunk out of Mableton, Georgia, going to Alabama to play for Avery Johnson. Guess if you want to be a great point guard, not a bad guy to learn from, right? Avery Johnson. Here's McCoy trying to clean up on the miss. Can't do it. Excellent defense from Bamba again. Save from going out of bounds. Here's Team Elite on the breakout, and Ethan Thompson with the easy right-handed lay-in. It's 12-4, Team Elite.
And you see Ethan Thompson, he doesn't do anything too flashy, just gets the simple points, and he's helping his team open up a little lead here.
Brian Bowen with the basketball out of LaPorte, Indiana with the pull-up 3. So he traveled a long way. And a nice easy lay-in on the follow by Trae Young. Brian Bowen, one of those guys who is undeclared in this game, as a lob and a 2-hand throwdown. Beautiful dunk from P.J. Washington.
P.J. Washington's a multifaceted, multi-level, multi-dimensional player. He can score from the outside, he can defend, he can do a lot of things.
Beautiful dunk from Finley Prep. There's the ups that we were waiting to see from Jaelyn Hands. We saw it during the slam dunk contest, and a little taste there as this pass is over the head of Thompson and goes out of bounds, and we have our first official timeout of the day. 15:38 to go, first half of action in the 7th annual Ballislife All-American game. 14-8, Team Elite ahead. We're back after this.
I'm with 2-time Player of the Year in the state of Oklahoma, Trae Young. Trae, I know you take as much pride in your academics as you do in your basketball excellence. Who's your inspiration to do the best you can at both those?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of people in my life who preach academics to me, and I mean, my two younger sisters just happen to be the best at it. They're very good in the classroom. Never made a beat in their life, and they're just always on top of their stuff, and that just motivates me to continue to be on my stuff.
Outstanding. Now, I read that you wanted to get straight A's this year at Norman North. Did you?
I got close, but no, I didn't end up getting straight A's. But no, I did my best this year, and this is my best year.
That's all we can ask, not to worry. Now, I remember when your dad, Ray, was an outstanding player at Texas Tech. How did he help you in this madness that is the recruiting current?
Well, it definitely helped. I mean, having a father and having someone who's very close to me go through the process, and that helped me a lot. And he was a very good player at Texas Tech and in his professional career, and that definitely helped me.
Well, I remember, to be sure. Now, at Oklahoma, you're almost as big a deal as Russell Westbrook and Baker Mayfield. So how you plan to deal with the heavy load of expectation?
Well, I mean, it goes back to my dad playing. I mean, he definitely helps me stay level-headed. I mean, I'm a pretty big thing around there, but I know I have a long ways to go, and I have a lot of good things to do. And I mean, I'm excited for this run in Oklahoma, and I mean, I definitely have a lot of good role models like Russ, backyard that I can look up to.
Well, I think you've got both feet firmly on the ground, and we look forward to watching you have a terrific run at Oklahoma. Thanks for the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Rob and Ronnie, back to you.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Trae. And if you saw the numbers, Ronnie, that Trae has put up this year, and I know you have, 42.8 points per game. Unbelievable offensive player.
Definitely. His team wasn't as strong as it was the prior year, and he had to do what he had to do to get the wins at Norman North. But we'll see him distribute a little more, be a little more balanced here at this game.
We had full-on substitutions during the last dead ball. Is heading to the rack with a gorgeous left-handed kiss off the window is Isaiah Washington. And then the other way for the right-handed jam is Brandon Randolph.
Back and forth action. Jelly fam here in the front court. He got the layup, and watch him operate here.
Yeah, here he is going to work. The fade and the kiss. Boy, he loves using the window, doesn't he? Long outlet. Here's Randolph again with a right-handed flush. I was going to say, Ronnie, I was going to try to get everybody caught up on the substitutions. Good luck as a lob goes off the glass and taken by Team Future. Here they come with a 2-on-1. Bounce pass over to Angelo Ball and a gorgeous feed from Eli Scott, the two Chino Hills kids.
Obviously, they got some synergy. Jello and Eli, they know each other for a long time, played together, and look for Eli to throw some outlet passes here.
Here's one outlet pass, break to the rack for the right-handed flush, Savion flag. And you said Savion, you were telling me that he can go from the free throw line, huh?
Yes, he definitely can go from the free throw line. Alvin, Texas product, headed to Texas A&M, participated in the Albert Schweitzer games this summer in Germany, so he has a lot of experience.
Washington putting on a show, a dribbling display, and the fans love it.
And here's that jelly we've been talking about, Isaiah Washington.
Washington on Angelo Ball, instead tried to give it up, and it's a bad pass taken away by Eli Scott.
Eli was reading that. He's not going to let his buddy.
Ball for three.
I was going to say he's not going to let his buddy get embarrassed out there. Eli doing a good defensive job.
Washington with a beautiful dish between the legs and the right-handed finish from Kris Wilkes.
The fans are going to love Isaiah Washington as this game goes on.
I already love him, and I've only watched him for 3 minutes. Incredible. Bronx, New York native, St. Raymond High School, going to Minnesota. I hope he likes the cold. It's cold in New York, but not like Minnesota kind of cold. Here's Kris Lykes out of Washington, missed on a shot, but he was fouled by Washington, and 2 free throws coming up for Lykes.
And going the other way, Kris Lykes can do some of the stuff that Isaiah Washington can do for Team Future. Kris Lykes is a dynamic player in the key, smallest player here, but it doesn't matter. He's well-deserving and a great high school player.
Listed at 5'7" tall from Gonzaga. 2-time Conference Player of the Year and All-Met Player of the Year, and helped lead his team to 32 wins this past season.
And it's interesting, his junior year, he was the WCAC Player of the Year over Markelle Fultz, who's now going to be a top 3, maybe the top pick in the NBA draft. That's how good Kris is as a high school player.
Yeah, very exciting young man to watch as he connects on the second free throw. And it is 24-20, so just a 4-point spread now. Team Future has cut into the big early lead for Team Elite.
Quade Green was a little short on the three-pointer.
And this ball gets kicked out of bounds at the baseline. They're going to keep it right here with Team Future, team in white. And it will be Eli Scott to inbound. Again, he went to Chino Hills. He's going to Loyola Marymount as Eli Scott, wearing 00. So that's an interesting choice. Loyola Marymount trying to build up their program in the WCC as that three-pointer missed from Brandon Randolph, and it will be Team Elite ball.
Well, Eli Scott is an interesting situation. If he was 6'7", 6'8", we're talking about a top 50 player. I think schools looking at him his size, and he's got to develop more perimeter skills, but he's a great high school player, and he should do great at LMU.
Here's Collin Sexton going one-on-one with Angelo Ball. Missed on the right-handed runner. That's pretty good defense by Angelo.
And Eli's always looking up on the transition outlet.
He certainly is. Isaiah Washington's pass now into the corner. A 3 is good. Lighted up, Savion flag. So we've seen the play in the post from Savion with the dunk, and now we see him step outside. Here's a 3 from Ethan Thompson. Well, he can step outside and shoot it, can he?
Definitely he can.
Kris Lykes will pull up from triple distance, and he drills it. And now we're seeing the shooting display. And there's a steal. Gorgeous steal by Eli Scott. He's 4-on-1, taking himself to the rim. Boy, Eli Scott coming off the bench has been as good as advertised, if not better. That ball underneath and a two-hand flush from P.J. Washington. And we'll get a timeout. Timeout taken by Team Future. And we'll take this timeout with them. 29-28, Team Elite. 10:56 to go in our first half. Back after this.
I'm with Brian Bowen from national champion Lumiere. Brian, everybody's been talking about your upcoming decision. You don't need to tell me, but what are some of the major factors going into this decision? Is it immediate playing time? Is it a team that can contend for a Final Four? What exactly is going through your mind about that?
Right. Whatever school I go to, I'm a big-time winner, so I want to go to a winning school, of course. It really depends on, guys are, for me, making my decision. Guys are staying at school in my position. Guys are going to the NBA in my position. And whatever coaching staff could put me in the best position to go to my next goal and be in the NBA.
Well, now, you had a magical season, your team did, for La Lumiere. How did leaving home and going there to play, how'd that make you a better player and a better person?
Oh, it made me a better player overall. It's a great coaching staff, but playing with great guys, NBA potential guys on my team, going big-time things in college. Off the court, it's a great school. As far as academics, they push you as hard as they can and get you prepared for college.
You're going to be glad when all this nonsense is done?
I think so, but I'm enjoying it right now, so that's why I'm just taking my time with it, and when the time comes is when I'm gonna make my decision.
Good for you. You take your time. It's the biggest decision that you probably ever made in your life. Thanks for the time.
Yes,
all right, Rob and Ronnie, back to you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Brian. It is 29-28 in favor of Team Elite. Just about midway through our first half. Rob Render, Ronnie Flores. Courtside as that fadeaway jump shot is in and out from Quade Green out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Newman Goretti High School going to Kentucky, two-time Class 3A State Player of the Year. As that ball was lost, looked like an attempted pass, wasn't going anywhere. Long outlet, a bounce off the floor, but nobody ready for it. Well, sometimes it gets a little out of control, Ronnie.
Definitely. Duval's trying to make a highlight player, and there Collin Sexton just makes the easy left-hand layup.
And little finger roll, and ball was illegally inbounded apparently, and now they'll get it right. As Jaelyn Hands back on the floor along with Trae Young, the mass substitutions again. Here's Duval, and taken away by Team Elite. They've got a 3-on-2 if they want to hurry.
P.J. Washington with the block.
That pull-up three missed, and now a steal. And it's getting a little bit hectic. Here's Ethan Thompson, two-handed flush. And he is leading all scorers as Ethan. He has 13.
As you can see, Ethan is smart. He knows where to get when it gets a little sloppy. He's always in the right position, Ethan.
Jaelyn Hands with the English off the window.
Jaelyn Hands with the hang time there. UCLA fans are going to love this kid.
MVP of the 2016 Adidas Nationals going to UCLA. Pull-up three from Thompson. That's the first miss. He was 6 for his first 6. Nice job dribbling the basketball by Young. The lob off target and gathered in and finished by Trevon Duval out of IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. As P.J. Washington couldn't gather that lob in. It goes out of bounds. I want to ask you about Duval. He's another one of those guys that's undeclared at the moment. Most people consider him the top point guard in the country, though, don't they?
Yes, they do. He's a great player. His favorite player is Kobe Bryant. He's actually out of Delaware, and he has no date. He told me this week he has no date for when he's going to decide just yet.
And I don't think there's any rush, right? When you're that good, you can pretty much decide when you want to.
These guys want to see who's going to the NBA draft, who's going to declare and come back, who's going to withdraw. So all that factors into these guys. As we've seen, most of these guys, after 1 year, will put their name in the hat to try to see where they are in terms of the NBA draft.
Here's Thompson. This time he missed on the dunk. On the other end, by the way, before that Thompson attempt, Trae Young knocked down a deep three. He's going to try another one here, and this time a little too strong. Rebounded by Sexton. Sexton is 2-on-1. He's got Thompson to his left, and they're 2-on-3, so he'll take a three. Missed it. Thompson cleans up. An early candidate for MVP, Ethan Thompson.
Ethan Thompson with the steady energy, doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, and he always plays defense. He learned that from Doug Mitchell at Bishop Montgomery.
Oregon State can really use a talent like Ethan Thompson, still trying to grow that program in the Pac-12 near the bottom of the league this year. There's a nice dribble drive and finish off the glass from Duval. He's so smooth.
And you see the explosiveness there. It looks like Duval can just explode at any time. He's kind of laid back in his demeanor at times. He's having a good time, but he can explode at the basket.
So here's Sexton guarded by Duval. One-on-one opportunity. Great defense, but a little too aggressive, and a foul. And we reach the under 8 timeout at 7 minutes and 33 seconds remaining in our first half. The 7th annual Ballislife All-American Game from Long Beach, California, as the kids continue to put on a show.
I'm with California's Mr. Basketball, member of state champion Bishop Montgomery's Open Division champ, Ethan Thompson. Ethan, I've been watching you since you were a freshman, but I think your biggest improvement came this year between junior and senior years. If you agree, what triggered that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like that just came with a lot more experience, physically and mentally. Just get out there and just try to slow the game down. So yeah.
Now, you played for one of my favorite coaches of all time, Doug Mitchell, a really intense guy, but that's what I like about him. What are you going to take to the next level that he taught you?
Every day he pushed me to work harder. He pushed the team to work harder. No matter what we were doing, he always said play every possession, not the score. And I'm just stick with that mentality as I continue on with the basketball career.
Now, it had to be tough the last couple of years. Dad and brother Stephen Jr. went up to Corvallis. You and Mom stayed behind in SoCal. Everybody up there in Oregon now except for you?
My mom stayed down here with me, finished out high school, but it's going to be great when we're all back together again up in Corvallis.
No doubt about that. Now, Oregon State went 5-27 last year. You haven't lost 27 games your whole life. Tell Corvallis why things are going to be better.
Just a lot more experience, like I said earlier. I think that comes with winning, and the program is definitely about to be on the rise again. So, yeah.
All right, thanks for the time. Good luck up there in the Pacific Northwest. Rob and Ronnie, back to you.
Thank you very much, Paul, and thank you, Ethan. What we are going to be doing during today's game is live polling on Facebook Live. So if you folks are watching us on Facebook Live, we're going to throw up some questions throughout this game, as you see right there in the lower third of your screen. Who do you have in this game, Team Future or Team Elite? We want to know. So get your votes in right now. We're going to be taking them live throughout our broadcast. It is 39 apiece, 7:20 to go as P.J. Washington lays it in over the top of the front end of the rim. The 6'8 Las Vegas native from Findlay Prep. Rob Ronnie Flores, Findlay Prep, a tremendous program. They constantly produce great talent.
And yes, interesting enough, P.J. Washington is coached by his dad there. He played at Tennessee State. They had a great season there, ranked number 10 in the Fast 50 rankings. And P.J. Washington's a do-it-all performer. He was their best player, played in the McDonald's game, played in the Jordan game. P.J. Washington brings a lot to the University of Kentucky.
There's a gorgeous feed from Bowen to McCoy for the finish, as Bowen showing off his passing skills. Collin Sexton now with a one-on-one opportunity. Eli Scott defending, and Eli has been great defensively in this game thus far, as that three is knocked down. Step back in the corner.
And Collin Sexton has something to say to their bench, so he's trying to get this game riled up. 44-44 all here.
I like that. That's how you get the competitiveness. And you mentioned Collin Sexton as far as that goes. I like it. Here's McCoy, the big guy, showing his athleticism on the follow.
Brandon McCoy there, one-on-one move.
P.J. Washington goes coast to coast for the finish. P.J.'s a big guy, 6'8", as we get a stoppage of play, so we can have some substitutions. Mo Bamba's going to come back in. Isaiah Washington, along with OKpala for Team Elite in the black. And it will be Team Future basketball as Brandon Randolph inbounds to Kris Lykes. You know, it's interesting to see the camaraderie and the teams being able to play well together, especially since they probably have never played together for the most part. There's a few teammates that are around. As to the rack for the right-handed finish, and there it is. Isaiah Washington. Ronnie, what's that finger roll called again?
Jelly fam.
There it is.
That jelly. They love the jelly. And the jelly fam's a movement. You got to give Isaiah Washington a lot of credit. Street ball's kind of died. In terms of a little bit of a down, it has its ups and downs, but he's really brought that culture back to New York City. Little kids love to watch him play. He sounds out, and people love to watch him. They crowd around courts, similar to what you would see from Rafer Alston.
There's a left-handed attempt on the flush. You were talking about street ball. New York is really where street ball started, isn't it? On the streets of Harlem and some of the places, Bronx even.
Definitely. You talk about the GOAT, Earl Manigault, Pee Wee Kirkland.
How about Kenny Anderson back in the day?
Kenny Anderson, National High School Player of the Year, and Pearl Washington. And like I said, it kind of has its ebbs and flows. So it was down for a while after Ray Froston went to the Orlando Magic, became a pro. And, Isaiah Washington has really brought that back. Kids love to watch him play outdoors and watch him play in general.
And that's got to be so much fun, especially if you're a young man. You want to step outside. You got a big crowd gathered around. I'm sure that's a whole lot of fun. He probably enjoys that. Here's 0 Garden 0. Kris Lykes putting on the moves. Bounce outside. Deep 3 from Randolph. No. Cleaned up by Bowen.
Brian Bowen, known as Tugs, led La Lumiere to a fantastic season.
Yeah, he and his teammate, Jaren Jackson, both from LaPorte, and winning the Dix National title.
Definitely. Unfortunately, Jaren Jackson couldn't be here. Brian Bowen is originally from Saginaw, Michigan. He came over from Arthur Hill High School to go to a national program in La Lumiere.
That was Kris Lykes on the finish. Makes it 53-49 team future. There's a pull-up 3 from Ira Lee, a little too strong. Bowen on the glass. Outlets Randolph. Looking for the lob. Scott couldn't gather it in. McCoy cleans it up with a left hand. Boy, I like Brandon McCoy, what I'm seeing. Athletic, using both hands, rebounds, runs the floor.
Marvin Menzies is getting a great player in Brandon McCoy at UNLV. His first big recruit there.
Mo Bamba, the right-handed half hook.
When you talk about long-term potential, it's hard not to look at Mo Bamba as being one of the top 2 or 3 guys in terms of this group long-term potential. He has so much potential. He had to share the load at his school with Brandon Randolph and a junior named Cameron Reddish, who we hope to see in next year's game. Coach Seth Berger there at Westtown School had such a strong program, and Mo Bamba's stats don't really portray what kind of player he can be.
And we're seeing him handle the basketball and pull up for 3. So obviously he's got an all-around game. That's beautiful to see. There's a nice finish from Ira Lee on the feed underneath from Charles O'Bannon Jr.
And Ira Lee chuckles. Kris Lykes pushes him in the back, and the ref doesn't call it.
Can't call it in a game like this.
No, Ira Lee's too big and too strong, so he finished it easily.
Brandon Randolph got that rebound, and we're going to get substitutions with 3:31 to go. But first, we are going to have an officials timeout. 57-53, Team Future on top of Team Elite in the 7th annual Ballislife All-American game from Long Beach.
I'm with Orange County Player of the Year and member of Esperanza's California D2 champion, KZ OKpala. KZ, when you began the season, you and Esperanza were a little under the radar. Then you went out to Chicago to open the season. What did you learn about the Aztecs and about your own game?
I learned that I can play with anyone. I can play with the best of them. And I learned that I can really play. And as a team, that we're not scared. We're not scared of anybody. We're going to give anybody our best game. So, yeah.
Now, you grew 10 inches since you were a freshman, and when I've watched you play, you are wonderfully versatile out on the court. Where does Stanford see you playing right away as a freshman?
They see me playing, bringing up the ball, passing, distributing, doing everything that point guards do, doing everything that shooting guards do, doing a little of everything, so yeah.
Now, obviously, you take academics seriously, or Stanford even wouldn't take a look at you. What stimulates your brain other than basketball?
I just like challenging myself, giving everything I do 100%. So if it's academics, if it's basketball, I'm going to give everything 110%. So, yeah.
All right. Thanks very much for the time. Congratulations on the championship season. Good luck there at Stanford. All right. Rob and Ronnie, back at you.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, KZ, as we get a missed dunk. It's 57-53 with under 3.5 to play in our first half. Here's a lob and a reverse jam. Mo Bamba throwing it down on the feed from Ethan Thompson.
Makes it look so smooth. There was a reverse dunk by Mo Bamba. And he just nonchalantly walks down court like, who wants to challenge me in the paint?
No one is the answer. Well, certainly not me. I'm glad I'm sitting on this side of the scorer's table. Here's Angelo, ball for 3.
And that's what Jello can do. had a 72-point game, 56-point game, and he cracks a little smile to Mo Bamba.
And he's guarding Mo Bamba, by the way, on this end. That'd be a fun matchup if Mo can get the basketball. Instead, Ethan Thompson going to back up for three. Missed it. Tipped the ball up in the air. Bamba cleans up and throws it down. You know, he is so long, but the hops are incredible. Most big guys that size, they don't really jump all that high. He does.
Definitely, and he definitely has a big, and this shift, he has a big size advantage.
Here's another lob to Bamba for the jam. Well, I don't know if it's going to be Texas or Kentucky or whoever else, but somebody is going to be very happy when Mo Bamba finally signs.
Definitely.
Young to the rim, missed it. Cleaned up by Isaiah Washington. Lead pass, Sexton with the left-handed finish. And he's got 14 in this game. Make that 15 for Sexton. Here's Young for three. That one's true. He's got a nice stroke.
Trae Young could definitely shoot it and stroke it. Led Mocan Elite to the EYBL title this past year. Great competitor. He's associated with winning.
That's Kris Wilkes on the two-handed flush. 6'7" forward out of Indianapolis, Indiana, North Central High School. Coming out here to go to UCLA and play for Steve Alford, who, by the way, is also from Indiana, played at the University of Indiana.
And he's also a Mr. Basketball, just like
That's
Kris
right.
Wilkes.
Absolutely. And looking forward to seeing Wilkes there as a missed three and cleaned up on the glass nicely by Ethan Thompson, who's having a tremendous game. He's got 17 points. A lob underneath and a nice catch and two-handed flush from Jaelyn Hands. We want to see some of that competitiveness coming back. Here's Sexton. Oh, boy. Tried the windmill and switching hands in midair. Didn't work out. The Angelo ball leaves behind him. Off the glass and a nice tip from Savion Flagg out of Alvin, Texas, going to Texas A&M.
Savion's pretty big in the upper body. I didn't realize he was that big shoulders. Savion Flagg's a big kid.
Gorgeous follow by Kris Wilkes showing his ups again. Speaking of Flagg, he's going to go to Texas A&M, play for Billy Kennedy there. A team that was 16 and 15 last year, so they could really use that type of player, athletic player. A guy at his caliber can only help.
All-district, all-state pick, Savion Flagg. Had a great senior year. Also did good at the NBA Players Association camp.
Quade Green off the window, and the follow missed by Flagg, trying to put on that extra show as they're now it's getting a little bit out of control. The shot was blocked nicely by Ball, goes out of bounds, and it will be Team Futures basketball.
Jello Ball got, played defense there.
There's a long lob with 5 seconds remaining in the half. Beautiful catch from Hands for the two-handed flush. 1 second to go, gonna have to force it up. Thompson does and misses, and that'll do it for our first half. An exciting, a highlight-filled first half of basketball. 69-67, Team Future ahead of Team Elite through 20 minutes of action here in Long Beach. We'll take a break. When we come back, second half of basketball. And actually, before we step away, we're going to throw it over to Paul Westphal.
Hi, I'm with Naismith Award finalist and member from IMG Academy's sender team, Trevon Duval. Trevon, I've read where your college choice announcement is going to be creative and different. Well, nobody's ever told me, so that would be different. I'm just kidding. You don't have to tell me. That's all right. You don't have to tell me. Now, I read that you maybe didn't want to go so far away from home your senior year. You're from Delaware, but you went to IMG. How did that improve you as a basketball player and as a person ready for the next level?
It just helped me get ready for college. Going away for school is kind of like, going away to college. So, it's just preparing me for college, and, I think it helped me out a lot.
Well, now, a lot of people think you're ready for the NBA right away, but of course you got to do the old one-and-done thing. What do you got to do this next year to prepare yourself for the second next level?
Just, prepare myself mentally, physically, just prepare myself all around and just get ready for that next level, so I can, hopefully get to the highest level.
Well, you take your time with that decision because it's the biggest one you're going to make in a while, and we'll be watching. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
All right, Rob, back at you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Paul. Wonderful interviews during the first half. Looking forward to more of those During the second half, it was a highlight-filled first half of basketball. The Dunk Festival was on here in Long Beach, California. Wonderful athleticism shown from both Team Future and Team Elite. Looking forward to more of that. We're back with the second half in just a few moments.
2017 Ballislife All-American game here at halftime. It's been a great game as we go to this all-time Ballislife All-American game MVPs. Lonzo Ball, who's here today, had a great performance last year, along with Mustafa Heron, who scored over 30 points. In 2015, Thon Maker and Skal Labissiere went at it, and now Thon Maker's making an impact in the NBA playoffs with the Milwaukee Bucks. He's really progressed. Shaquan Aaron of USC and Stanley Johnson, all-time performer, 39 points in the game. 2013, Jordan Bell, 3 or 4 blocks. Jordan Bell, what a great performance he had in this year's NCAA tournament along with Elijah Brown. Jordan Bell's going to the NBA, might be a late first round, early second round pick now. We got Gabe York in 2012 along with Princey Beth, who had a great statistical game in 2012. He headed to the University of Texas after that. 2011 is interesting. The first Ballislife All-American game. Keaton Miles, who went to Arkansas, and we got Amir Garrett. Amir Garrett, who played at St. John's, but he's now a Cincinnati Reds starting left-hand pitcher. What a story that is. Amir Garrett went from basketball to play baseball, and he's now on the show. And we talked about those great MVPs. We talked about some of the game records. Stanley Johnson, 39 points. Great all-around performance from the 4-time state champion who's now playing with the Detroit Pistons. Mustafa Heron last year had 33 points. Mitch Lightfoot, who people was kind of a little sleeper a bit. Mitch Lightfoot went on to Kansas, had 30 points last year, played great, gave great energy, was great in the practices, and it paid off in the game for Mitch Lightfoot last year. Jordan Bell, again, had 16 rebounds in his 2013 game and 4 blocks. And obviously what Jordan Bell does, gives that energy, gives that passion, fire. It always carries over, and it should carry over to the NBA, his rebounding and shot blocking and energy. Skal Labissiere, great epic matchup with Thon Maker in 2015, had 15 rebounds. Now, Skal hasn't come off the block in the NBA kind of like Thon has, but still he's a great young player, and he did 1 year at the University of Kentucky, and hopefully he has a great pro future.
All right, it was a wonderful first half, Ronnie. I was so excited to see a lot of the jams that we saw, the finger rolls and backup threes. It was tremendous, and we're looking forward to much more of that in the second half. 69-67. We're at the half for the Ballislife All-American game.
I'm with Indiana's Mr. Basketball, Kris Wilkes. Now, Kris, you broke a lot of hearts when you decided not to stay home, but another Indiana's Mr. Basketball, Steve Alford, stole you. Was that one of the big reasons that you decided to come out west?
Yeah, definitely. Him and his staff, since day one, since I started talking to him, I fell in love with the staff. I came down and visited. I knew that was the place where I wanted to go. And, it's a beautiful place, so why couldn't you? Why not?
Now, your dad, Greg, a member of the Indianapolis Police Department for over 20 years. When you're going to be this far away from home and things maybe get a little tough, what life lessons that he taught you are you going to remember and get you through those times?
Man, many things. Stay out of trouble. Don't do nothing you wouldn't do at home. He stole a lot of stuff from me at a young age, and I think it will follow with me, forever, wherever I go.
Now, you wear number 31 for a reason. Tell everybody out there that doesn't know, why do you wear number 31?
I wear it for Reggie. My dad used to tell me stories about Reggie when I was younger, playing with the Pacers and stuff, and his work ethic and all that. And, I just, he was one of my favorite players. So, I started wearing 31 at a young age, and, I've been wearing it since.
Now, have you asked Reggie if he'll unretire it for you?
Yeah, I posted on Instagram. He said something. He said, do whatever. So, hopefully I can. That'd be nice.
Well, Kris, we'll all be watching because the juice is back in Westwood, and you're going to be a big part of that. You're a highlight film in the making. So best of luck to you at Westwood because we'll be watching. Well, we'll be back with Rob and Ronnie. You'll have halftime highlights. And don't go too far, because the 7th annual Ballislife All-American game presented by Eastbay is coming right back, right after this.
Welcome back to Long Beach, California. We're at the half. Team Elite and Team Future. It is 69-67 in favor of the designated home team. That's Team Future. As you look at the first half statistics, lots and lots and lots of shots. Over 100 shots taken in that first half. And you see the three-point percentage, not all that hot on the Team Elite side. I'm sure if they can start to knock down those threes, maybe they'll separate themselves from Team Future. Love to see teams sharing the basketball. So on 29 made shots for Future, they had 14 assists. On 31 made field goals for Team Elite, they had 16 assists. Not many free throws. You wouldn't expect too many. Not too many fouls in that first half. And overall, a lot of excitement, a lot of running up and down the floor for both these teams. Lots and lots of dunks and layups and step-back threes, and we look forward to more of the one-on-one game in the second half. Our leading scorers thus far for Team Elite, 17 points from Ethan Thompson, 15 from Collin Sexton. They're leading the way, and really the front-runners right now for the player of the game, or MVP, if you will. Brandon Randolph has 12 for Team Future, 11 for Jaelyn Hands, 9 for Kris Lykes, 8 for Trae Young. You got Savion Flagg with 9. So up and down the rosters, everybody involved, Ronnie, and everybody scoring the basketball. That's good to see.
Definitely. One thing I do notice is Eli Scott with 5 assists there. Again, he's unselfish, and that's why Chino Hills won so many games over the last 2 years. He's a forward. He's a rebounding forward in the outlets. He's always looking for Jello and his other teammates.
We'll take a look at the first half highlights, and there are so many of them. I don't know how our crew actually put this together. As Ronnie, it was a dunk fest.
That was Ethan Thompson to Bamba. That was the best highlight of the first half. Ethan Thompson had a great first half, and there's the Jelly. Jelly fan misses it with the follow-up there. Ira Lee plays with such great energy. Sean Miller's going to love him.
No question about that. As Jaelyn Hands showing his ups, as he showed during the slam dunk contest when he won. And I love that. Bounce it off the floor to yourself, Collin Sexton. Yeah, you know what you did.
And Collin kind of grimaces there. Collin got in the face of the other team and tried to get him going. That's what Collin's good for. Collin's such a competitor and such a winner.
Really is. There's your score again, 69-67. Team Future ahead of Team Elite. And just about ready, a few minutes away from the second half of basketball. And I would imagine that when it comes to really seeing the competitiveness, now is when it's going to come out. Ronnie, usually when you get games come down to the wire and they're close, that's when these guys start to pick it up and say, you know what, I want to win this thing.
Yes, you know, they want to keep the game close, and we want to hope it gets close down to the last minute. So then in the last 4 or 5 minutes, you're going to see the substitutions change and be more free-flowing, trying to get the matchups of who's been playing well. Obviously, we have some candidates for that. Ethan Thompson, Bamba. You expect those type of players who played well in the first half to be on the court down the stretch.
No question about that. And we mentioned this a couple of times in the first half, that when they start going one-on-one, that's when it really gets the crowd into it. We saw the crowd actually rise as one at one point during the first half when they got a one opportunity. I think it was Collin Sexton. I don't remember who was guarding him at the time, but I want to say it was Angelo Ball. And the crowd really got into that. So I'm hoping that maybe we get players challenging each other a little bit. That would be fantastic to see. Maybe Collin Sexton could be in the middle of that yet again. And more interviews from Paul Westphal, which would be great because I love hearing from these kids. So all in all, it should be a whole lot of fun in the second half. Again, we're about 3 minutes away from the second half of basketball. 69-67, Team Future ahead of Team Elite. Is Life All-American game. Rob Brenner, Ronnie Flores, Paul Westphal alongside. 69-67, Team Future ahead of Team Elite. As Ronnie, we're going to take a look at the final Fab 50 national team rankings.
Yes, we had Nathan Hale, 29-0 out of Washington. Brandon Roy, who unfortunately just got shot in Los Angeles about a week ago, saving some kids.
Yeah, something
from
heroic.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
And Brandon Roy coached that team, and obviously there was a little bit of controversy there because Lalamere won the Dix national title, finished 29-1, but Lalamere had lost to Sierra Canyon, and Nathan Hale beat them during the regular season. So the common opponent factor played a role in there. Memphis East, coached by Penny Hardaway, the former NBA great. They lost 3 games, but they won 2 big games over Montverde Academy, 2 out of 3. Imhotep ended Montverde Academy's home winning streak, and of course, so Imhotep falls nicely in place with Montverde at number 5. Number 6 is Bishop Montgomery at 31-2, Ethan Thompson's team. Everybody was looking at me like, Ronnie, how did you start Bishop Montgomery over Sierra Canyon? Sierra Canyon was the most loaded team, along with Lawlemere, probably in the preseason. You look at just from the roster and talent perspective, but Bishop Montgomery beat them in the playoffs, beat Mater Dei twice, beat Chino Hills, and finished at number 6 after starting number 7. They had a great season, and they didn't have a starter over 6'6". Jonesboro, Arkansas, great program, great team, 32-0. IMG Academy, Trevon Duval's team, 26-2. The Patrick Schools, featuring Nick Richards, they had a great season, 29-4. And Finley Prep, which is coached by PJ Washington's dad, who's here today. So we have many players who are here today, and obviously elite talent translates into winning. You know, PJ Washington's here, Brian Bowen's here, Ethan Thompson, Duval. These guys, you know, had great seasons individually, and it led to team winning.
I'm so used to seeing St. Anthony's in New Jersey in anybody's top 10 list. It's so odd to look at one and not see St. Anthony's, but, you know, sometimes it's just not your year. As we'll take a look at Ronnie, something that we think is important, how to improve the high school game. What are your thoughts?
Yes, as we talk about, you know, the controversy with Nathan Hale, they didn't play in the Dix Nationals. One thing that we could see in high school games, and my buddy Paul Bancart of ESPN is always pushing this, the universal shot clock. And the practices of the starting date, having the states practice at the same time, starting a universal starting date would also help the national game. We're talking about the high school game from a national perspective. So these kids are playing on an equal playing field.
No question about it. I like both of those ideas, as you see a right-handed finish from KZ OKpala. And that makes it 71-69 Team Elite. By the way, you mentioned the Brandon Roy story. That bears repeating. That guy is an absolute hero for what he did. Basically blocking, shielding kids from flying bullets, and he winds up getting shot himself. But what a tremendous moment, really. I mean, awful moment, but a tremendous act. Definitely. Him, a selfless act.
And it's ironic because his career was cut short by injuries. It's almost like he can't catch a break, you know, but he did a great thing, and he led his team to a magnificent season. He was a former player at Garfield and an NBA All-Star. Brandon Roy, shout out to him.
No question about it. That was a gorgeous pull-up by Isaiah Washington out of the Bronx, New York. As you see the moves and the scoop to the hoop from Kris Lykes.
Kris Lykes with the behind the back right in front of Jelly Fam. Jelly Fam with a nice pass, a little too long.
Looking for P.J. Washington out of his reach and out of bounds. As players obviously have some renewed energy from the halftime break, getting up and down the floor. As you see a steal by Isaiah Washington. And now Ira Lee with a left-handed finish.
Ira Lee, San Pedro, California native, played at Crossroads.
Not far from here. San Pedro, one town over, really. A pull-up three is good from Lykes. So we're seeing Lykes going to the rim and now showing off his range. Mentioned he's going to the University of Miami. Get that tan on, right?
Definitely. Kris Lykes had a great year.
There's the finger roll. Say it again.
There's the jelly.
The
from
jelly.
Isaiah Washington.
I love it. He's made that into a huge thing. Ira Lee, nice pass, up and under, misses from Washington. Got it back, and finishes strong, 2 hands.
Crowd goes crazy. PJ with the 2-hand flush.
2 hands over Eli Scott, who just got posterized. Although I don't know if you can ever really get posterized in an all-star type event. So if you're Eli, don't feel too bad. These are great players. Here's a nice finish again on the Euro step from Isaiah Washington. Brandon Randolph with a right-handed finish.
Can you imagine a high school team with Brandon Randolph, Mo Bamba, and Cam Reddish? Wow.
It is going to be something, to say the least. And that Arizona team, Sean Miller always has a good program. Just can't get over that next level. You know, they can get to that Elite Eight, just can't quite sneak into the Final Four. But Sean certainly has the talent each and every year to get there. As the first free throw is short from Ethan Thompson, who had a great first half, sitting on 17 points, he had an 8 out of 12 shooting.
And Ethan just enjoyed his 18th birthday on Thursday.
It's amazing. Some of these kids so young, you stand next to them. They look like grown men. They're so tall. Remember, they're just 17, 18 years old, some of them. Brandon Randolph guarded by Thompson. Slipped to the ground. Might have been a wet spot there. And taken back by Team Elite. The lob and the right-handed dunk from Ira Lee. Randolph with a nice save at the sideline, but then had it taken away. Here's Ira Lee, 3-on-2. This lob is broken up nicely by Eli Scott. Good defense from Eli. 4-on-1, the fake behind the back and the lob off the glass. Two-handed finish, Brandon Randolph.
You knew the crowd might fall in love with Kris Lykes. The crowds love the little guys.
And that was a beautiful move, as good as it gets. As P.J. Washington throws it down on the other end. Boy.
P.J. played at Findlay Prep, but he's originally from Texas.
Findlay Prep and
Big Blue Nation next.
Yeah, going to Kentucky. Play for John Calipari. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Here's P.J. Washington. Again, showing off his ups. Long outlet, Randolph. And nobody's getting in his way.
I really thought twice about challenging that there.
I wanted to see the challenge. I was waiting for it. As Ethan Thompson with the right-handed flush. 90-80, Team Elite. As we get 4 minutes off the clock now here in our second half. Here's a three from Paul. Too strong to follow dunk from Randolph. Out of Yonkers, New York, just north of Manhattan. And we're going to get a reach-in foul. And the shot went down. Are they going to count it? I didn't see the officials say one way or another if they're counted. They are. Score that field goal. As good as it gets from Isaiah Washington. It's time to take a break. 15:44 to go in our second half. 92-82. Team Elite back after this.
I'm with Mo Bamba, who's still undecided. I should have picked the guys who are 6'5" and under. But Mo, you're still undecided, but I don't really care because you're not going to my school, Wisconsin. But I got to ask you, you went to China for a non-school or non-sports related thing. Tell people why'd you go to China and what'd you learn?
I mean, it came down to why not China. I mean, we were at West Town, we do the senior service. It's a senior requirement of doing an independent senior project, and I decided to do an independent one. And while I was kind of brainstorming different ideas, me and my buddy came up with China, and then I thought about it more from a basketball standpoint. It was like, there's 300 million people in the United States, and there's 300 million people in China alone that plays basketball, or that want something to do with basketball. And I just went for the experience and the cultural immersion.
Outstanding. Now I read that your favorite Olympian is Jesse Owens. What do you admire about that great American?
The courage to go out there and do it while the country was still kind of in that time where it was hard for a guy because of his skin color to get out and do things.
Outstanding. Now, obviously, academics, big part in your college decision. What are some of the factors that are playing into this decision that everybody's kind of waiting on?
I mean, now it just comes down to a point of just comfortability and just how I'm going to mesh with the team and how I'm going to mesh with the coach. And 'cause honestly, I think that's one of the biggest things is relationships.
No doubt about that. Now, I hear you play tennis. Do you play tennis?
I did play tennis for 1 year. I played doubles with with a good friend of mine, and we were killers out there.
Oh, man, can I be your doubles partner? We'd kill it. U.S. Open, Mo Bamba and I are coming. Mo, thanks for the time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Rob and Ronnie, back at you.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Mo. Tennis player Mo Bamba as McCoy throws it down off the lob. Can you imagine if he was up at the net? How would you get the ball by him?
Oh, wow, you would be so dumbstruck. What would you do there? Mo Bamba, well-rounded person, very intelligent, as you can tell from that interview.
No question about that. I can't even imagine what his serve would be like, by the way. Hit the ball 150 miles an hour. That would be a sight to be seen. 95-86 as you get the nice finger roll finish from Charles O'Bannon Jr. And make it 97-86 with under 15 minutes to play. It has been a great game thus far. Here in the second half, as we see a nice move and a missed three from Jaelyn Hands. Both teams really getting up the floor here in the second half. Not seeing a lot of defense yet. waiting for the defenses to kick in. There's O'Bannon with the finger roll. What do you like about O'Bannon's game?
I like O'Bannon because he has the pedigree. He's going to be better later than he is now, meaning he has long-term potential. He's still a young kid. Some of these guys are very mature in terms of their approach. O'Bannon, still young, and he's going to be a really good player in 2 or 3 years. He can shoot the outside shot, and he's very athletic.
I would be fascinated to ask him, is that 3 misses, but a nice follow by Wilkes on the tip. I'd be fascinated to ask him why he chose USC over UCLA. Because obviously Dad and Uncle go to UCLA. What makes you think I'm going to the crosstown rivals of all places?
Well, I think Charles wants to go to the beat of his own drum a bit. You know, it's a funny story. His parents, Valencia and Big Charles, they kind of made him, forced him to play basketball. He wanted to play football in Pop Warner, and they told him, if you play basketball for a year, we'll let you play Pop Warner. And then they said, no, son, you're playing football.
Interesting. How about that? As Trae Young lost the ball out of bounds, trying to put on a fancy move. And I wonder how the O'Bannon household felt when he came in and said, I'm going to SC. Still, I've got to ask him maybe before this is done, as it will be Team Elite basketball. 103-91. Lots of points, of course, being put up on the board in this all-star game. You'll see that all the way up to the NBA level. As that lob is caught, and then a great rejection by McCoy, but it winds up in the hands of O'Bannon Jr. for the right-handed flush. Seen a lot from Brandon McCoy again here in the second half, and I did mention this during the first half. He's going to UNLV. They are getting a tremendous player.
Definitely.
At the Mountain West Conference level. He should dominate at that level.
He should. Brandon has a lot of ability.
O'Bannon, nobody stops him, coast to coast. And not that that league isn't fantastic, by the way. It is. I don't mean to sound like I'm putting it down, but he is a great athlete. Really the caliber that I would think that could flourish maybe even in the Pac-12 as he tries a 3 and misses. Rebounded by O'Bannon. Right-handed baseball pass to Bamba. And his pass for Wilkes is taken away by McCoy. Now here it is. Here's that athleticism. End to end for the right-hand jam.
And Brandon's been waiting for that. He loves to show his ball handling and his ability when he's out in the open court. Brandon McCoy, UNLV bound.
Here's what I've been looking forward to seeing. Here's Bamba and McCoy one-on-one. That's great defense. Fantastic defense. Forces the miss. O'Bannon gets the offensive rebound. Backs it to the corner. And here comes Team Future. Trevon Duval to McCoy. And now it's uncontested. 3-on-0. What are we going to see next? The missed dunk is what we're going to see from Collin Sexton. As O'Bannon bricks a 3. Off to Jaelyn Hands. Hands gets between defenders. Tried to throw it up to himself off the glass. Came up empty. Bowen for 3. And they'll stop play. 11:40 to go. We'll take this stoppage with them. 107-98. Team Elite. Back with more from the 7th annual Ballislife All-American game from Long Beach after this.
With the pride of Corona Centennial High School, UCLA-bound Jaylen Hill. Jaylen, I've been watching you for a long time, but I thought your improvement between junior and senior year was the largest. What's the key to that contribution?
Nothing special, man. I just got in the gym and worked hard. Kept working every day, waking up really early, and that's it.
Now, your dad, George, played 4 years at Kansas State. I'm sure you played a lot of one-on-one. Have you ever beaten him?
Yeah, that's easy. That's light now. He used to. One time he dunked on me, and but we don't talk about that anymore.
Outstanding. I understand off the court you like to read. Can you tell me a couple of books you've read recently, or ones that have made a mark on you?
That's been a minute. I don't know who told you that. That's been probably the Hunger Games and Percy Jackson series. All those series, those are great.
Nice. It's a lost art. I'm currently reading How to Lose Friends and Infuriate People. Jalen, how am I doing?
You're doing horrible, man.
Outstanding. Best of luck in Westwood. We'll be watching. All right, Rob and Ronnie, back at you.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Jalen. Your leading scorers thus far. Ethan Thompson has 20. Collin Sexton has 17. Isaiah Washington, 15 for Team Elite. For Team Future, 20 for Brandon Randolph. We got 15 for Brandon McCoy. He's put on a show here in the second half. Trae Young has 13. 14 for Kris Lykes. And it is 107-98 with 11:40 to play. Team Elite has the lead as we want you to vote again. Interactive today on the broadcast. Who deserves Team Future's MVP? We want you to vote on who deserves the MVP. So get involved on Facebook Live as Kris Lykes pulls up and drills a 3. Ronnie, we're seeing great performances from a number of these players.
Definitely. Randolph having a great second half. Kris Lykes just hit the 3. He has 17 points now, and he's trying to D up Jelly Fam there.
And there is Jelly Fam with the step back. They'll call it a 2. He had his foot on the line.
And he's going to try to go back at him right here.
I love it. I love the one-on-one.
Here's where the crowd gets into it.
Ooh, made the move, just could not get the finish as he missed on the jump shot. Now it's Washington's turn. Bamba missed on his tip. Ira Lee cleans up.
Ira Lee's what we call an energy forward. He's always on the boards.
Look out to the rack for the hard-handed finish. Savion Flag. 31.3 points per game, 11.6 rebounds this past year, all-state and all-district. Savion Flag out of Texas. As there's Mo Bamba from the corner for 3.
Showing the range, Mo Bamba.
I love it.
Do-it-all performer. He can do a little bit of everything. Such a long wingspan, such a great prospect for the next level.
He is impressive, to say the least. There's a really deep 3. That is, forget NBA range, that is Steph Curry range from Angelo ball.
And that's what Jello can do. And he's unconscious. He can miss 4 in a row and then make 6 in a row without breaking a sweat. He just has that knack for scoring and that knack for shooting. He's like a great defensive back in football. He just forgets about the last one if it goes off.
Your prototypical shooter. Just keep shooting, right?
Yes.
Here's Brandon Randolph trying to take Mo Bamba, who lets him go when he gets the reverse. I wanted to see Mo challenge there. Of course, a lot of these guys, they don't want to get hurt either. That's a big part of these all-star games. So you don't blame them for not going up and either trying to get themselves or the other player hurt. Here's Lykes. Pass first. Angelo for 3. Yep, got it again.
Jello shot, we call it here in LA. We call it a Jello shot when Jello hits from deep.
I love it. Jelly and Jello, and that was Jelly over Jello.
I think Melo like that there on the first row. Isaiah Washington with the crossover on his brother. He's probably going to give him some hell tonight.
I was going to say, what is Lonzo going to say about that? There's a nice takeaway. Isaiah Washington to the rim, finishes with the right hand. Boy, he is some player. Some player.
Such an engaging player, Isaiah Washington.
Lykes for 3, too strong. Washington,
again.
Underhanded outlet pass, and the windmill jam. PJ Washington. 14-point game at 124-110. With just about 8 minutes to play, Lykes thought about the step-back 3. He'll give it the ball, try it again. This time it misses too strong, a little bit too strong anyway. There's Ethan Thompson behind the back for the finish, plus the foul. And we'll get a stoppage so they can make some substitutions at the 8:02 mark. And apparently they want to take the immediate timeout here at 8:02 to play. 126-110. Team Elite ahead. As you see Angelo ball showing off the range. He shot that one from Westwood.
I'm with Alabama-bound Collin Sexton. Collin, you were one of the late additions to the USA Under-17 team that wound up winning gold, and you ended up the MVP. How did you impress the coaches on such short notice?
Well, I just went to training camp and just started working hard, worked hard from the gate. Did little things like play defense full court, make sure that everybody's involved, just a little stuff like that. That's what got me on the team, and then I showed what I could do at the World Championship. So.
No question about that. Now, that intensity, that fire, and that work ethic remind me of another point guard, a guy named Avery Johnson. How did you guys hit it off the first time you met?
I felt like he was just a great player. He coached as well. He coached as well as played at next level, so I feel like he can teach me a whole lot.
All right, now I understand, correct me if this is wrong, you don't have any social media accounts. Is this true?
Pretty much, yeah. 'Cause my brother runs one on Instagram just to make sure that fans and everybody just stay attached to what's going on.
No worries. You, me, and Charles Barkley. That's the last 3 left that don't have any of that stuff. Anyway, congratulations on Alabama. Best of luck at the next level.
Appreciate it.
All right, Rob, Ronnie, let's go with the last 8 minutes.
Thank you, Paul. Rob Render and Ronnie Flores. We go under 8 minutes to play. It's a 16-point game as Brandon McCoy showing the moves and then the pass to Eli Scott.
That's Brandon McCoy's dream right there. Shake and bake with the no-look pass for a dunk.
I mean, we're talking about 6'11", acting like a point guard as there's a 3 out of the corner from Ethan Thompson. Your leading scorer thus far, Isaiah Washington, is having a huge second half, by the way. He's got 25 for the game. That leads everybody, 19 of them coming in the second half. As Bamba's pass is tipped out of bounds, and it will be Team Elite ball. Is there one player, and it's hard to pick one, I really shouldn't ask you, but one player that's really, I don't know, but it just impressed you, but maybe impressed you even more than you thought you would be?
I think Collin Sexton, who just hit that 3-point there, his demeanor, his approach, he's such a competitor. He doesn't want to be everybody's friend, and that's what I like to see.
There's Young from deep.
Obviously, he's a great player. He's had a lot of great accolades, but he's stepping up to the plate in terms of his intensity the whole week.
And don't forget, folks, about the poll question. We're waiting for your responses as here's a one-on-one opportunity. Sexton for 3, no. And who deserves the MVP? Sexton or Thompson? Who would you say gets the MVP? You can vote right now on Facebook Live. We want to get your input as Trae Young gets a layup. Who's going to get this MVP? Vote it now. And it looks like the early balloting, now leaning toward Collin Sexton, I'd say.
People love Collin Sexton. They just love what he brings to the table. Don't forget about Isaiah Washington.
Yeah, no question about it. As Brandon McCoy gets the finish there. Committed to Alabama. That's another program that could really use a high-level talent as they throw this one up the glass. And a finish from Collin Sexton. Giving a little right-hand high five to Kris Wilkes. And there's another takeaway and a breakaway opportunity. Oh, they're going to throw it off the back out of bounds. You can't do that. That's a little bit much. I like the effort, though. I like trying to do something a little bit different.
Yeah, that was
You can't throw it off the back wall, Ronnie.
The only guy I see who threw off the back wall like that was Jason Kidd in the McDonald's All-American Dunk Contest, but not during a game. Jason Kidd got the dunk down, threw it off the wall.
Really?
Yes.
How about that? I mean, if he could have thrown that down, yeah, something special. That one goes out of bounds. It'll still be Team Future basketball with 5:54 to play. A little bit of chatter here. I like that. Jaelyn Hands chatting it up. Here's McCoy. He'll take a 3. Got it! Again, 6'11", folks, pulling up from 3. Out of San Diego, California, Cathedral Catholic. Played well in the McDonald's game, and he's playing very well here. Sexton missed on the layup. They'll call a foul, however. It will be on Trae Young, and a couple free throws here for Collin Sexton out of Mableton, Georgia. Pebblebrook High School, as we look at the move.
Collin Sexton was the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Class 7A Player of the Year. As Paul said earlier, led the FIBA 1700 World Championship MVP, 17 points a game. Led the EYBL in scoring, 31.7 points for the Southern Stampede.
And now the crowd's going to see what they want. More one-on-one. Let's see it. Jaelyn Hands guarded by Sexton. Fadeaway 3 is way too strong. Sexton wants it back. Now he's been the one, Collin Sexton, that's getting the crowd into it more than anybody else. I love it.
And him and Jaelyn Hands, we talked about this earlier, they kind of went at it in practice, and they want to do it again here in the game.
Let's see what Collin Sexton can do. Fade away. Got it! Oh, baby, Collin Sexton is feeling good, doing the robot. And then the steal, and he gets fouled.
Collin Sexton put them to sleep, thought he wasn't paying attention. He stole the inbound. That's the kind of intensity Avery Johnson wants to bring. Obviously, he's not going to do that type of play, but he's going to be engaged all the time.
From slow motion, kind of Michael Jackson-ish on stage, to all of a sudden breakaway speed. And now he's going to shoot free throws from the elbow instead of from straight away, and he misses on the first. As P.J. Washington's going to check in, and Ucla will go out for Team Elite.
He plays to the crowd, Collin. He knows what he's on the stage here.
I mean, you've got to feel great if you're Alabama right now, and you're watching this one anywhere in Alabama. Roll Tide, as they say. And again, the crowd wants to see a little more one-on-one between Jaelyn Hands and Collin Sexton. And we will get a bumping foul. And I think the officials are trying to curtail some of this action. We're going to get a substitution again. Ethan Thompson will come back in. He had a huge first half for Team Elite. And it will be Charles O'Bannon Jr. that goes to the bench as you look at the Ball family yet again. They've been in the news just a little bit lately. Hands and Sexton. And Hands gets trapped under the basket. Great defense from Sexton. Had to give it up. Bowen. Now he wants his turn. He'll pull up from deep. No. Put back jam, McCoy.
Well, so many are concentrating on Jalen and Collin. Brandon McCoy keeps his head up, finishes the play.
He has been wonderful in this game. Brandon McCoy's got 22. Bamba gives it up. Yeah, that's what they want to see. Everybody wants Sexton on Hands. Behind the back. Fade away. No. Put back jam. That was Kris Wilkes. Well, you got to give the crowd what they want in an all-star game, don't you? Scott the lob! And it is all McCoy all day long for Team Future. We reach the final media timeout. 3 minutes, 34 seconds to play. 142-123 Team Elite. Back for the exciting finish right after this.
I'm with Kentucky's newest point guard, Quade Green. Quade, you're a Philly native. That's tough city. How has your hometown shaped you as a basketball player?
My toughness, really. Everybody playing in the park with older guys made me get tougher. That's what I am, tough guard.
Now, I read one of your favorite players anyway is the legend Allen Iverson. Can you describe your game? You got a little AI in you?
Oh, yeah. I like crossover, AI crossover with me. And I like to get in the paint a lot, so floaters and layups and everything.
You led Newman Goretti to 4 straight state championships in Pennsylvania. My guess is it's safe to say you don't like to lose. Is that part of what drew you to Kentucky? Because they don't lose very often.
Oh man, I just like where everybody don't like each other. Really, everybody don't like Cal. That's why I want to play with, because I know everybody gonna hate me and hate him, and that we always gonna win. We're gonna try to win. That's what I do.
I absolutely love it, and they're gonna love you down there at Kentucky. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Robin Ronnie, let's close this thing out.
Thank you, Paul. Another outstanding interview. Fantastic the entire day. Really enjoyed all of those one-on-one interviews. Quade Green, a great find for Kentucky. I'm sure everybody wanted Quade. As here's McCoy. He's had a huge second half. And again, the right-handed thunder. It's 142-125. Just over 3 minutes to go. And a little more one-on-one time for Collin Sexton. This time guarded by Kris Lykes. Shake and bake. Missed on the 3, and McCoy on the glass. Ronnie, it's really been the Collin Sexton show as McCoy gets another dunk, but McCoy is the one that kind of surprisingly is putting up the massive numbers.
Yes, Brandon stays engaged, and he's always smart enough to know some of those shots are low percentage, so he'll crash the boards right as the shot goes up.
That was a 3 from Ethan Thompson. Now has 25 points. Here's Angelo ball, a little too strong. McCoy with a baby jump shot. And again, they're going to try to use the back wall, lobbing it to himself, but he can't catch it. That is out of bounds, by the way. And the officials do whistle it down. And that gets Ira Lee back in the game. Collin Sexton will go out. And I believe he was rooting on Jelly to make a couple more plays, Isaiah Washington. As he departs, so here's Kris Lykes. Bounce pass is taken away. Breakaway to the rim, and a right-handed jam for Ira Lee. Out of the Crossroads School here in California, Los Angeles native Ira Lee. Committed to Arizona, where he lived until he was 12 years old. The fans wanted it, and they're going to get it. The cheering you hear is for Jaelyn Hands, who's going to check in at the next dead ball. And lob it off the backboard. P.J. Washington with a right-handed dunk. And a timeout so that we can get the substitutions. Sexton in, Hands in. And that has been the story of our second half. Sexton and Hands. It is a 22-point lead, as you see, for Team Elite. So the game is pretty much in hand for the designated visitors. And now it's all about putting on a show in the last 95 seconds. Here's Hands. Left it off, wants the ball back. Savion flag obliges. Jumper. Oh, the crowd loves it. They love the one-on-one action. Jaelyn Hands with the baby J, and now it is Sexton's turn. Sexton, step back. McCoy with the rebound. He has been all over the window. It seems like he's played the entire second half. Hands for three. Bang! UCLA, you've got a good one coming your way in Jaelyn Hands. Sexton missed with the left hand. And we got 36 seconds to go. Again, while we have a few seconds, wonderful job by our entire crew today in a facility that they're certainly not used to working in. Did a wonderful job with the setup. Great job by Paul Westphal with all of our interviews on the sideline. We love those. 30 seconds for this team to show something even more special. Washington misses. McCoy rebounds. McCoy end to end, but he lost the ball. And it taken away by P.J. Washington. Washington between the legs with 11.7 left. And a great effort as well by the Ballislife crew. Everybody as McCoy finishes it off with a right-handed flush. Team Elite going to be victorious in the 7th annual All-American game. But first, one more finger roll, and that'll do it. Your final score, Team Elite 151, Team Future 134. This was a blast, Ronnie. Really had a good time.
Definitely had a good time, Rob. Appreciate the fanfare. I'm sure the crowd loved it. I'm sure the people on the Facebook live stream loved it. Collin Sexton, Jaelyn Hands going at it. Brandon McCoy had a good game. Bamba was doing a lot of good things. You see the guys who really enjoyed themselves in their last National All-Star game of the 2016-17 season, the Ballislife All-American game presented by Eastbay.
And each and every one of these kids off to a tremendous Division I program all around the country. Folks, no matter who you root for college basketball, you are getting a good one. No matter who you get that comes out of this game, they are all tremendous. Just to look at some of the fantastic highlights from today's action. For Ronnie Flores and Paul Westphal, as well as our entire Ballislife crew, I'm Rob Brenner. This has been the 7th annual Ballislife All-American game presented by Eastbay. See you next year. Good night, everybody.
you.